Hello there, Geoff Barton. It's Friday the 21st of July. Here's your end of week and indeed end of term video message from us. And three things, predictably. First of all, polls, Pepe, possibilities. Ever the English teacher with a bit of alliteration there, of course. And in the email version, you will see that we give you the results of the poll that we've been running just this week. And we've been asking those eligible members in England, that pay offer from the government, that funding promise from the government behind it, those non-pay issues that are also being promised, do you say yes or do you say no to it? I'm not saying the results out here because we owe it to members that you hear first, so we're putting it into our message. I just wanted to say in 4 days, thank you so much to all of you who have responded and given such clarity of response there. And similarly, we've been running a ballot on industrial action, as you will know. Your response to that has been extraordinary. And what you've been saying in that is education has to matter more than it is doing at the moment. You've been really clear about all of that. And, you know, a recent opinion poll asks the public, how important is education to you? We know that top of the list when you ask people what's important is the cost of living. But how important is education? And the percentage of people who replied saying education matters, 8%. Well, what you were saying there is education needs to matter more, and it sets a real clear agenda, I think, for the autumn term there. So there we are, polls. Pepe, just wanted to add my congratulations to Pepe Diasio. He is our immediate past president, who is the nomination from council for the General Secretary job next year. So there's a long process still to go through with all of that, but a changing of the guard after conference next year, and for Pepe to be nominated, just wanted to say bravo to you, Pepe. And then possibilities. It's really just thinking about what the autumn term might look like. And there are people who will be stepping into new roles as business leaders or assistant heads or deputies or CEOs or head teachers or whatever role it might be. And we said to you on Tuesday, would you have any advice for them? And you've sent me so much that what we will do is to put it onto a separate website, and we'll make it live right at the beginning of term in the autumn, so that if you just facing those butterflies that we all face at the beginning of a term, particularly going into a new job, you can look at some of this advice which is coming from people who also stepped into roles like you were about to do and gave you their advice. But here's three specifics. One of them, all storms pass. Perspective is essential. Take a deep breath, a step back, talk to some students. It'll remind you of what matters. I totally agree with that. Second, heads have more power and can have more courage than they realise in the choices they make. A good head needs to seek out the support that enables them to sustain their own hope and their own courage for sustainable and joyful service. And someone who just sent some advice for people stepping into the role of school business manager or business leader, take each day as it comes. You will never leave the office feeling you have accomplished what you wanted. For me, it's the hardest, most diverse job with long hours, but also the most rewarding and fulfilling job I've done. Just ensure you keep a good life balance. Thank you so much for all of those. And I think that what the autumn term allows us to do is a kind of reset. I think it's likely that there won't be the prospect of industrial action going on. It allows us to focus on young people, their attendance, the rhythms and the routines of school and college life. It allows us, I think, to regroup around the things that matter, but also to get back to a sense of what system leadership means, of you making the decisions that are the right thing for your community, and not to feel that you have to kowtow to people in Westminster or elsewhere telling you what to do. I do think it's going to be a time for us to step up with leadership, and something that just brilliantly epitomises that, you'll know it, is Christopher Logue's poem, which is about moving from anxiety to moving to confidence to moving to success. And it's a tiny little poem. I'm sure you've used it in an assembly, and I'll finish this right, okay, and then leave you in peace. Come to the edge. We might fall. Come to the edge. It's too high. Come to the edge. And they came, and he pushed, and they flew. And I just wonder, without being over cheesy, as if Geoff Barton could be over cheesy, whether all of that anxiety and that compliance we've seen, once we get to the autumn term, we step to the edge and we realise that we can fly. We'll be there for you. Thanks so much for your support for ASCL, your great loyalty to ASCL, your support for me personally, which means a huge amount. We're not disappearing. We'll be here if you need our advice and support, but we are going to leave you in peace. So have a look at the Barton bookshelf, which is out today. It's competing with President Obama's bookshelf. You decide which one wins that. As ever, if you want to tell us stuff, tell us at ascl.org.uk. Otherwise, you find yourself a good bit of time to have some time with family and friends this summer. All the best.